Using my well-loved Gelli plate. This is by Gelli Arts, and it's the 6x6. And I haven't had the Gelli plate out in a while, and I wanted to show a tutorial on how to make metallic paper flowers with some stamp effects. And you can see that my Gelli plate is well-loved, but it will still work great for this effect. So what I'm starting with is just a plain 8.5 by 11 sheet of printer paper. This happens to be a lavender. You could use any color you like. I like the lavender background already being on the page, since it's a nice color for a flower. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay down a little bit of Folk Art Enamel Flow Medium, and this is going to give all of the paints that I lay down over it not only longer drying time, but a little bit of sheen. And since there will be plenty of metallic sparkle, I like the idea that it'll have even a different cast with an enamel look. This is the Folk Art Metallic in silver. And I'm just going to do a mixed metallic look. This is also Folk Art in copper. And these are some of my favorite colors to work with. Especially the copper, and I love this gold. Same brand. These are all by Plaid. And I'm getting my Gelli plate nice and juicy because the small size of the Gelli plate, and I can't resist adding a little bit of hot pink. That's the Craft Smart brand from Michaels. I'm just going to do a little dollop here and there to add a little bit of flashy color in there. And I'm just going to take my speedball brayer and see what we get. Twice with the Gelli plate. That's what I love about it, and it's always just sort of a surprise. I haven't worked a lot with this particular flow medium, and I'm finding it is a lot juicy. Just going to set my brayer off to the side. And then what I like to do, and so as you can see I have up front here the Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm starting with a couple of doily stamps. These are both from Prima, and I'm going to go ahead and ink those up. And what I like about clear stamps, one of the benefits is that you can see precisely how much ink is on there through your stamping block, and you can also see exactly where you're stamping it in case you need to go over an area or press a little harder. It kind of gives you a better sense, although there are a lot of advantages to rubber stamps too, so I definitely keep those in my collection as well. Okay, so I'm going to do some of the doilies off here to the side. And I'm not really too concerned if they come out perfectly or a little blotchy. I think it'll just kind of add to that mixed media look that I'm going for. And I'm going to do, okay, so now we have several different circles cut out, and as you can see, they are covered on both sides, one with the script and one with the stuff that we did on the Gelli plate plus stamping. So I'm pretty happy with how these turned out, and I'm just going to cut out one of these for you. There are lots of tutorials on YouTube. I learned this on YouTube myself. This is how to make a paper flower without a die cut. I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit so you can see a little better. And I just go in and I cut a sliver, and I just freehand it. I've made so many of these that I found that you don't really have to you're just cutting a basic spiral to get to the center. And please feel free to search on YouTube if you'd like a little more descriptive paper flower tutorial. I will link to, I believe it was Lovely Scrappin' who made a spiral shape. I think that was the first place I saw how to make paper flowers without a die cut. So what you have here obviously is a spiral pattern inside of a circle, and you'll see I left this little pad. I think of it as like the flower pad, and that's where all of these layers are going to circle and meet, and that will be the base of your flower. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is heat up my heat gun and be right back. Okay, so now my hot glue gun is nice and heated up. I usually give it about 5 minutes. There are a couple different ways you can roll this flower. I've hand rolled them before. I haven't made any since around Christmas time, so this time I'm going to use a toothpick, which is how I originally learned. And I'm not sure why the camera is out of focus, but okay, there we go. Okay, so what you're going to do is just take this tip and roll it around the toothpick. Be sure to have nice and inky hands while you're doing this. It's a requirement. Okay, now that you're starting to roll, you've got about maybe 3 rounds on the toothpick. I like to hold one end. This is going to be the base of your flower, and continue rolling. And you want this end to start to create a little bit of difference, and this is what gives it more of a realistic rose look. Do you see how some of the layers are starting to come out like that? So, and my camera is flashing that it's low on battery, so I hope I can at least complete this flower, and then I can always recharge my battery and come back. Okay, so I start to get a little bit looser with the flower as I go, because I want to give it a little bit of wiggle room, because once I get to that flower pad that I told you about where things are going to end up, I want to have a little bit of wiggle room there to work with. And the great thing about using the hot glue gun is that it dries really fast, and it doesn't take, you'll see, it just takes about not even a dime size dollop there. I'm going to remove my toothpick and sort of capture that flower and pinch the flower pad around it. Okay? And like I said, okay, so I believe where we left off, where my camera had went ahead and died, was I was completing this first rose, and it's a little wiggly in the middle, and so what I like to do in that case is just go in right into the bud and give it a couple of hot glue gun blasts. Be careful with your fingers here, because it will heat up what area of the flower that glue travels to, and it can kind of sneak up on you. You get distracted, you're working on the flower, and then all of a sudden it burns your fingers. So just be careful, and if you know you're a teenager or a child watching this video, please make sure that you have parent supervision while you're doing this one, because any hot glue gun crafts can be a little dangerous, even for adults. I haven't had any major hot glue malfunctions, knock on wood, but some tales on YouTube of some pretty bad hot glue gun burns. Okay, so now you can see, and I'll go ahead and zoom in, or not. The camera is just, I'll bring the flower to you. And you can see that this one has the script on the outside and the paint and metallic on the inside, and I tried out doing both, you know, the metallic on the outside, script on the inside, because either way you're going to be able to see a lot of fun patterns and colors and dimension. And like I said, no two roses will look alike. This one I think is my favorite because I was able to really get the rose buds out, give it more of a realistic look, and then you get to see that nice bronze sheen on the outside. This one is an experiment. I filled this one up with a lot of glue, and then I'm going to top it off, sort of dome it with the glue, and hit it with a little bit of Inca Gold and see if I can make sort of a flower centerpiece. So there's my flower tortilla tutorial for you. Not tortilla. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. It really helps get my channel out there, and I'm gaining about a subscriber a day now, which I am so excited about because I only recently got real serious about making these YouTube videos, and it is wonderful to get the positive feedback and to know that people are actually watching and enjoying my videos. So that is my metallic paper flower jelly plate stamping doily lace script tutorial for you, and I'll say goodnight and thanks so much, YouTube. Bye bye.